These are the solutions for the first practice quiz for quiz 3 in the third trimester of Algebra 2C. So problems 1 and 2 are just about finding the property on the inverse function or vice versa. So this just involves a simple switch of variable. So x is greater than or equal to 2 will go to y is greater than or equal to 2. Pretty simple. F prime or f inverse of x has an x-intercept of -2, 0. What is the y-intercept? So 0, -2. So the coordinates get inverted as well. So all x and y variables get inverted, as well as all coordinates get inverted back and forth. Compositions, okay, and then you see this is an inverse evaluation on part C. So f of g of 3, so what you want to do is do g of 3 first. So 3 is going to go into the g function, and that would make a 6. And then 6 goes into the f function. 36 minus 2 is 34. F of g of x. So here, you're going to take the entire g of x function, and that's going to get put in for x. And then you're going to simplify. So what is that going to look like? So x plus 3 squared minus 2. And so now we've got to do the FOIL product. Remember the good old FOIL product, and then minus 2. So x squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 6x plus 9 minus 2 plus 7 when you simplify. So don't forget to multiply it out twice when you do that on that particular problem. G inverse of 2. So now we need to know, how do we find the inverse of the g function? So this involves, so here's the function. You switch the variables and you solve for y every time. So it doesn't matter what particular function is, you need to be able to solve for y. And so x minus 3 equals y. And that's the g of x function. I'm sorry, the g inverse of x function. And so now we want g inverse of 2. So 2 is going to get replaced in there. And that's going to be 2 minus 3, which is -1. So you need to find the inverse first by switching the variable, and then substitute in 2 for the new x there. F of g of 2 plus g of f of 0. So you want to do g of 2 first. So you're going to go to 2 on the g function. That's 3. So you're just going to replace with 3 in there. And then f of 0. So go to 0 on the f function. That is 3. So you're going to replace with 3 inside that. And then you just straight do the evaluation. So f of 3, that's -2. Plus g of 3, that is 2. So -2 plus 2 is 0. Pretty simple stuff once you get it, as well as this page. Just need to be a little careful that you're on the right function when you do this. So f of 1, you go to the f function, you go over to x equals 1, and what y value is that? That is -4. So you're finding y values all the way through this when you do this. G of f of 1, so you want to find out what f of 1 is first. Well, we've got that. That's -4. So now we're going to do g of -4. So we're going to go to the g function. Oh, there's nothing at -4. So when that is the case, and there will not be that many of these in this unit. Okay, there's none on the quiz. I'm not even sure if there's any on the practice quizzes. Well, this practice quiz there is. There's not very many, so don't just write that if you can't figure it out. You need to do your best to figure these out. G of 6. So go to 6 on the g function. That looks to be 0. And then f of g of 6. So we're doing f of 0 because we already know what g of 6 is from the previous problem. So f of 0, -3 is the y value. Pretty easy. G of -10. Here we go again. There's no -10. There's no y value that corresponds with that. So a very rare moment of two undefines. That is not going to happen very often. So please don't just write that if you don't know. And then tier 3. So you got a couple inverses to find, and then you got a pair to prove that they are inverses. So f inverse of 7, you need to find the inverse function. So here's the original. We're going to switch the variables, and then we're going to solve for y. So x minus 4 equals 3y. X minus 4 over 3 equals y. And this is the inverse function. So f inverse of 7, when you do that, that's going to be, this is where all the work comes in. 7 minus 4 is 3 over 3, which is 1. And then we just replace that inside the parentheses g of 1. And you go to the g function, you put 1 in, 1 minus 2, -1. So the work is in finding that inverse. That's the heart of that problem. G inverse of x. Okay, so we're going to switch the variables. So I'm just going to do that right away now. So this was y equals x squared minus 2, with the y being g of x, of course. And now we want to solve this for y. So this is going to involve to the 1/2 power or square root, either way. And then as we say that, of course, we need to say that y is greater than or equal to 0. So everything gets switched, even this up here, in the expression as we solve this. So if you have to the 1/2 power, that's the same thing as well. All right, so what to do on these? This is a lot easier than it looks. Proofs. Oh my gosh, I have heart failure when I see the word proof. So all you need to do is this. You need to take the g function, the entire g function, that gets replaced for x to start with. And then we're going to take the entire f of x function, and that's going to go in for x in the other one. And each time we do it, we have to get x. If we don't get x, then something goes wrong. So these will drop out, and we have x minus 4 plus 4. That equals x. Okay, so now the other way, so the 3x plus 4 goes in for x. And now with simplifying this, we have to get x. So the 4's will drop out. So what you're doing, this here is f of g of x when you compute it. You need to show that they're the same, and then this is g of f of x, that they're both equal to x. Okay, so one function gets subbed in. Now, if you don't get x, let's say you got 2x and x, they're not inverses. So you have to get x on both. Okay, so that proves that it is. And I'm going to give you ones that work, so know that. All right, these are the solutions for the first practice quiz for quiz 3 in the 3rd trimester.